When babies enter this world, it's a joy beyond measure. They're tiny little bodies, so delicate, so fragile. But when something goes wrong, it's a horrifying moment you wouldn't wish on anyone. For Channel 7's First Alert morning meteorologist Keenan Smith, his wife Jamila, and their 3-year-old son Grayson, that nightmare was thrust upon them soon after their second child, Clark, was born.
Everything looked good at his exam. They did the regular blood work just to kind of keep an eye on the jaundice. And our pediatrician called back at 7 that evening telling us go directly to the emergency room.
In an instant, his diagnosis would turn much more frightening than the yellowing of the eyes and skin, as you'd see with a typical case of jaundice.
And the terms that they were using at that point were, liver failure, that they were using really scary terms.
So scary, in fact, baby Clark was being seen by 8 teams of doctors.
And then one day, Clark just fell off a cliff. He was unable to hold his head up. His arms and legs were just completely limp.
Clark's team was at the University of Michigan, but one night, a mad dash to Beaumont's emergency room left them believing Clark was in dire trouble.
At the end of it all, we were told that he had end-stage liver failure.
Jamila says she was in denial. Little Clark was rushed back to his team of doctors at U of M because they knew his case best.
At this point, are they telling you you could lose your child?
They didn't say that, but the words end stage said it all. And I think even then, I wasn't prepared to believe that I could lose my child.
Clark couldn't digest formula, so he was fed intravenously, but his tiny body was in rejection mode. His mom knows, had this been 30 years ago, Clark's outcome likely would have been much different.
I find it hard to say out loud, but we almost lost our child.
Doctors said Clark would need a new liver, but he couldn't go on the organ transplant list until he got strong enough to accept a new liver. The wait was grueling.
I think the hardest thing was on Christmas Day. We wanted to all be at the hospital together so we could be together as a family. And Grayson got this train set for Christmas. So he's opening the train set and he's so excited and trying to be excited for him. At the same time, my other child he was dying.
Jamila remained on guard at the hospital. Grayson was being cared for by a loving family from his school. And in the midst of it all, Keenan was going back and forth to work.
Keenan would sleep overnight in the hospital in a chair and then get up in the middle of the night, go to work.
Then after 2 months of fear, tears, and worry, word of a transplant.
I got the call. It was very dramatic. In the middle of the night, we have a liver.
The rush was on to Ann Arbor for surgery.
We were truly blessed in the speed at which we got a liver, and the liver we actually did get was almost a perfect match for him. I mean, he began to improve during the surgery.
Today, you wouldn't know to look at little Clark that his body has gone through so much. Medications keep him from rejecting his new liver, and both Jamila and Keenan say his big brother Grayson has been responsible for much of his baby brother's quick recovery.
To watch Grayson and Clark play together and watch them interact and watch both of them light up when they see the other one makes me smile every day.
Today, the Smith family is so grateful. They have a message for others contemplating organ donation.
It literally transforms not just the life of the person who gets the organ, but everyone around them, everyone that they're related to, their husbands, wives, sons, families. It's a gift that it's hard to even quantify the number of people it touches.
Today, Cassandra Perry marvels at her ability to see bright, vibrant colors, like these fuchsia-colored flowers budding on this small tree. She nearly lost her ability to see beautiful flowers, tiny bugs, or to even decipher colors at all.
My vision started changing when I was in 4th grade, and it just every year progressively got worse. And I would voice my concerns to my optometrist, and she would say, "Oh, you're just tired. You're a single mom. You work on a computer all day. You're fine."
Then one day while shopping, she asked a random woman with a child wearing glasses for her eye doctor's name. He immediately recognized she was suffering from a very rare genetic cornea disease that would steal her sight and cause blindness.
He sent me to a specialist, and I was put on the list right away to receive a new cornea.
2 organ donors in July and December of 2008 gave Cassandra the gift of sight. What would you say to them if you could see them face to face?
Oh, God, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you still get emotional.
Oh, always. Always. And I promised them I wouldn't cry today, but, you know, best like, I can't help it. I can't help it. It's just, the gratitude is just too much.
Gratitude shared by this single mom's 2 children, Jack and Liz.
It's just like amazing how like she got her eyes from someone, you know, just to think about it, like it's just really amazing.
It's really important to us and to other people too, and if just one person signs up, it's still 8 more lives saved.
Lisa Langley is the executive director of the Michigan Eye Bank, founded in 1957.
Every year, more than 1,000 people in Michigan receive a sight-restoring transplant. Our youngest cornea recipient so far has been 3 days old. Our oldest has been 103 years old, so many people benefit.
What would you say to other people who are considering becoming an organ donor but are hesitant?
It is truly the greatest gift you can ever give somebody, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my donors. So I see life through their eyes.
All this week, we've seen what the gift of organ donation can mean to an individual, to a family, and to a community.
It is truly the greatest gift you can ever give somebody.
These miracles come about thanks in part to a big push by Michigan Secretary of State Ruth Johnson, Gift of Life Michigan, and the Michigan Eye Bank. In fact, 42,000 people in Michigan joined the state's organ donor registry in March of this year. That's up 62% compared to March of last year. Johnson launched a statewide policy where branch employees ask every customer about adding their name to the registry. But with 3,000 on the waiting list, we need to do better. You know, it's pretty simple to become an organ donor. All you have to do is come to the Secretary of State's office and speak to someone like Victoria. And Victoria, you're going to walk us through it, right? Victoria will ask you whether you want to become an organ donor. And then she takes your driver's license and puts your information into the system. And then she gives you a sheet like this one with a sticker with a red heart to go on your driver's license. And it's as simple as that. You put all of our information into the computer.
Right, just your basic name and your driver's license number.
And once it's put into the computer, then what?
Then you would get an organ donor application.
And so we put this sticker here on our license.
Right above your license picture.
And it's pretty simple.
That's it. Or you can also, if you have no way to come in, you can also register online by going to michigan.gov/SOS.
Michigan.gov/SOS, and you can register online.
On free, yep.
And then we'll get this sticker in mail.
Through the mail.
Which is pretty simple.
Very simple.
Couple of minutes?
Less than that.
Bill McKnight signed up for the registry.
There's an awful lot of people, I am sure, who are injured or have illnesses who can only be saved with organ donations, and I think it's important that those people have a chance to be saved.
But there's still a disparity when it comes to minority donors, and that needs to change. Johnson gave Dr. Anita Moncrief, who heads up MOTAP, the Michigan Organ Tissue Transplant Education Program, a Shining Star Award, honoring her efforts to bring awareness to minorities.
We understand the disparity between who needs the organs, and unfortunately, members of underrepresented minority groups such as African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they are disproportionately represented on the waiting list to receive organs.
Tim McKinnon is with Gift of Life Michigan. He says, bottom line, we need more organ donors, period.
Right now, Michigan lags behind most of the other states, especially those in the Midwest, in terms of the percentage of adults who've made that commitment to be a hero to someone by joining the donor registry.